First category today is self-sabotage. Oh, can you relate to that? That self-sabotage is so hard, and we sabotage ourselves or self-sabotage ourselves in our mind on different levels. It's procrastination. It's avoiding things as a procrastination. It is maybe doing too much all at once and then getting overwhelmed. And because you get overwhelmed, you freeze into inaction. It is definitely maybe feeling guilty that you're not where you are or where you want to be right now. The interesting part of it is that self-sabotage is really the stories we're telling ourselves in our mind that are not true. And for the most part, we tell, or our mind is telling us these stories that we then tend to believe. And we see that through the prism of how we perceive our life and how we go about how we see ourselves in our lives, how we see others in our lives and circumstances in our lives. Self-sabotage is huge. If you can overcome self-sabotage, you, my friend, can set yourself on a path of winning. How do you overcome self-sabotaging? Well, number one, you got to be aware of that. If you're not aware that you're sabotaging yourself in your mind, in your thoughts, that you're negating yourself, that you're criticizing yourself, that you're beating yourself down, you have no way to overcoming it, my friend. And I could tell you several years ago, I'd say probably 5 or 6 years ago, I had no idea that what results I had in my life and frustrations I had in my life were resulting from self-sabotage. I just thought that I had a lot of things happening in my life. I just thought that I had a challenging project on my plate. I just thought that it's just the circumstances that kind of drive me into this overwhelmed state. And I was doing my best in all the fronts and all of the things that were on my plate, or juggling 70 balls in the air all the time, dropping one or the other and feeling bad about myself and criticizing myself for not living up to my own standards and expectations. The driver of that challenge and the driver of me not advancing, not being successful situation, not winning in my life and career was self-sabotage. And that present itself as self-criticism. When you are utterly critical to yourself, it is really hard for you to move forward. It is really hard for you to encourage yourself, because deep down at the core and subconscious level, you're criticizing yourself, you're beating yourself up, you're like that horse and you're still kicking it. My friend, you gotta stop. You gotta be aware of it. Number one, there are different ways of assessments that I would love to point out to you, but one that stood out, that's simple, very simple, is a wheel of life. Go type it in there. There are a couple of them that I would love to recommend. Reach out to me privately if you want to explore more. But the simple one is the wheel of life. You know, it measures the different capacities of your life. And what I found I took it over a period of years, actually. Gonna have to take it again. It's been a couple years I haven't, but I've taken that at that time as I reflect a couple times. And I always found that I put so much emphasis on my career, so much emphasis in my development, but there was area of my health, my finances were not that in a great shape, and fun. I always felt that I was lacking in fun and connection and just having joy of life. And I feel that is so important. And when you have self-sabotaging, is the self-sabotaging characters that we all have, this judge, the inner judge that we all have, are telling us that there's no time for fun. You got so much going on, you got so much on your plate, there's no time to relax. Then my husband say, honey, come lay with me, let's just snuggle, let's just have a few minutes to ourselves. And I'll be, oh my goodness, I cannot imagine how this man can lay and snuggle when there's so much to do. There's so much in the house. There's so much in the yard. There's just so much work to do. And you want to lay down and snuggle? How dare can you even offer that to me? Because I had this run, always go, always do. And sit down and take a breath was literally hard for me. And I could tell you, sometimes you tend to believe that the more you do, the more successful you get. And it's quite the opposite. I think The less you do, the more you are, the more you tap in who you are, the more stronger you become internally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And the more you learn to go with the flow, the easier it gets, the easier life gets. And it really becomes easy for you to overcome your challenges, to move towards your dreams. So that's number one. Number two, my friend, is lack of strategy. Lack of strategy is a big one. And I think many people believe and want to believe that they have a high strategic skill set and they can think a big picture. And there's a lot of books and guides on that. But in reality, it's hard to say how strategic you are. And most of the times we are driven to either serve, and especially women. Tell me if that's you. We either serve, especially moms. Tell me if that's you. We serve, we give, we tend, we support, we care for people. We are very good caregivers. Our values for people, for taking care of people, are very high. And then a lot of us also work on the processes, work on, how to get things done, actually getting through things done. In fact, how to think strategically and how to really look at the big picture is not taught very much. I think not in schools, not really in adulthood. You can read some books, but how do you really know how strategic you are, especially how strategic you are with your life, with your career? You just fall into place, you got a paycheck and you got a steady income, but then do you really take time to think through where you're going and how you want to strategically map out the areas of your life? And if you're in the business, there is a tool that measure how strong your strategic skill set is and can give you the insight. And I would love to share that tool with you. Let me know if you're interested. Reach out to me. We can chat more. But there is a tool that measure your strategic insight compared to how your strategy falls into your tasks and work that you need to get done, processes, and how it falls into serving people and being about people. And majority of the people fall very strongly with people and tasks, and then lack on strategy. That was an eye-opening for me to realize that lack of strategy keeps me stuck. And I have to develop more strategic viewpoints, and I have to surround myself with people that are more strategic and thinking big picture. I gotta step out and step up to start having conversation with people that are running companies, that are running businesses, that are running their lives successfully, and get to rob that skill set a little bit off their shoulder. And you too, my friend, got to do that if you want to not just continue throwing spaghetti on the wall and see if it sticks, but have a more of a strategic overview on where you're going, your career, your business, your life. You gotta focus on that. Lack of strategy will keep you stuck and will prevent you from winning. So number 3, my friend, is, can you guess? Let me know if you want to guess. Put it in the comments. I would say number 3 is huge. It's distractions. Are you guilty? I'm guilty. We all have distractions. In fact, the social media, I think, is the biggest distraction created. We all have distractions. We either distract ourselves by being busy and do not want to process our emotions and do not want to process the reality that we're in, and that reality and the results that we're in created by our choices, thoughts, and actions. We would rather stay busy. We would rather stay distracted. And the more distractions you have in your life, the more distractions you create and get addicted to, the less you're going to move yourself forward toward your dreams, the less you're going to advance yourself, the less you're going to win in whatever game you want to be playing. Because if you're doing something and you're distracted and your mind is constantly here or there, or it's this social media or that platform, or it can be, oh, let me just look on LinkedIn, and whoop, whoop, I've been scrolling on LinkedIn without really a strategy. Again, lack of strategy. I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for the sake of scrolling, so my mind get off of what I really need to be working on. Let's be honest. That is not going to move you far. That is not going to serve you. So, my friends, I want to be a little bit of an accountability partner here for you. What are you going to do to eliminate distractions in your life? And maybe it's a lot of them, and maybe you need to start a little bit at a time. And for me, when I was some time ago was just so consumed, I deleted Instagram. I deleted Instagram off my phone first, and then I felt that it was taking a lot of my time and energy. I completely removed myself from Instagram. I miss it. Yes, I have some people I follow that I admire, I've learned from, but I found that it did not serve me anymore. At some times, I delete LinkedIn completely off my phone, LinkedIn app. I just don't want to be looking at it and scrolling at it. It's a work in progress. But again, if you're not aware of it, if you're not aware of that you have self-sabotage, that you have lack of strategy, and that you have a lot of distractions in your life, you're just going to be going through the motion, through the steps, taking the processes, doing the tasks, but it's not going to move you forward. You got to be aware of that, number one, and then you're going to set a game plan, set a plan for yourself, how you're going to eliminate distractions, how you're going to create more strategy in your life so that you know where you're going, you know what I want, you have clarity with that. Then you have all the processes in place, you know the people you need to connect with and have conversation with that are going to move you forward. And you got to win that mind game. You got to stop sabotaging yourself. You got to overcome the nasty judge, the critic that is beating you up, that is judging you constantly. You got to overcome the lies that you're not good enough, that you are not smart enough, that you are too old, that you're too young, that you are stupid, that you are, insufficient, that nobody really likes to hear what you have. All of these lies and voices, you got to overcome and say no. You got to tell yourself, my friend, you got to say, I am unique. I am smart. I have worked so hard to get where I am right now. My voice matters. My experience matters. I have skill set and I'm growing skill set. I'm developing myself. I am going great places. I am going to be developing myself into being an amazing person I want to become. I'm going to be the best mom. I'm going to be the best parent. I'm going to be the best son. And I am going to make a difference in this world. I'm going to make a difference in people's lives in whatever capacity it may look like, one person at a time. You got to start giving yourself these affirmations. Write those affirmations out on the sticky notes, put them on the mirror, and tell yourself some good, valid things. Some good, valid encouragement. Put some good empowerment back into your heart and into your mind, my friend. And that's what it's going to take to help you overcome the mind sabotages and set yourself on the path to win, to advance, and to really enjoy your life. And hey, have a little bit of fun doing that. That is all for today, my friend. Thank you for joining in. Again, I'm so grateful for you, that you're listening, that you're supporting me, and I'm here to support you in every way. Reach out. Let me know if you want to have a conversation. I'm up to a coffee chat over Zoom. Let's drink some coffee and have a good conversation. I am cheering you on today, and I want to encourage you. Keep powering in EQ, my friend.